The reason I wanted to start teaching, I think, is because it didn't really seem like there was anything else for me. I tried a couple things in college and I was really bad at it, but finding sign language was really what led me to become a teacher. So I actually had a friend who had a family reunion a couple years, I think it was my freshman year of college, and I was just taking basic classes at TCC. And so he had a huge group of family come, and one of his family members had a small child who was deaf. She was actually, I think, 4 or 5 at the time. And so she would be signing with her mom, and before I knew sign language, I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And so I learned that TCC had a really good program. So I learned sign language, and then I tried to become an interpreter, which is very difficult at the time, and I did not do as well as I'd hoped. So then I learned there's this whole world called deaf education where you can be a teacher and work with deaf kids, so it just seemed like the perfect job. I thought that I wanted to be an interpreter because I thought it'd be kind of an easy job. You know, you just have to master a language and then show up and communicate with other people, so I thought, oh, it can't be that bad. But I was also doing it at the same time while I was learning sign language, so it was like, I would go to class and be like, okay, today we're gonna learn the alphabet, and they're like, yay, great. And then I would go to my interpreting classes and they would be like, all right, we're gonna assign this passage about the Civil War. And you're like, oh, I'm not quite ready for that, so I didn't do so well. I think the best part about being a teacher is just watching kids in the best phase of their life, where they're almost adults, but they're not quite, and seeing the maturity that they go from being a sophomore where they don't turn in their work and they don't understand why they're here, to maybe finding what their passion is, to then doing extra projects, getting better grades so they can go to college, stuff like that. I would absolutely recommend sign language for anybody because it can benefit any career path at all. Even if you're a sanitation worker, you're a nurse in a hospital, or you just work at Wendy's, it can benefit anybody because you're gonna bump into a deaf person at some point in your life, and if you're the only person that can communicate with them, even if it's just the alphabet, you're gonna feel like a superhero that day, and they'll love you forever for it. So yeah, I would highly recommend.